Hello, welcome everybody to EL117. This is the promised video for the lecture that has cancelled, and I'm going to go through some chapters that I was intended to cover on the lecture. Now, before I start, I want you to get your book. Please get your book, put it beside you, because I will ask you to open the book during the lecture. Let's start now with chapter 4. I just have some announcements. Do you have your portfolio? Have you started writing your portfolio? If you haven't, you have to start now. And if you have your portfolio, please bring it to me next week. And please don't bring me a very big file for your portfolio, because it is hard for me to take, if I have 40 students, it's hard for me to get 40 files. So please have a small one. Okay, I will tell you about something at the end of the class, which is the quiz. But since this is a recorded lecture, I want to tell you that next week is your first in-class quiz. So be prepared for the quiz. It's going to be from chapter 1 to chapter 8, right? It's from chapter 1 to chapter 8. All right, now, for your portfolio, you have to print your homework number 1 and homework number 2 that you have emailed them to me. I know you emailed me homework 1, or most of you at least emailed me their homework number 1 and homework number 2. Now print them out and put them in your portfolio so the portfolio can be complete. Another thing also, I have it here. Next week it's your first TMA, which is your first quiz. Okay, at the TMA only you need to be in your session. So remember, see your schedule. Is your session on Sunday? You have to be on Sunday. If it is on Monday, you have to be on Monday. Okay. So in chapter 4, we are moving from a paragraph to an essay, right? So writing a paragraph like this. This is a paragraph. I know you know by now you should know how to write a paragraph, and you know how to analyze the paragraph, right? For example, this is the topic sentence, right? The first sentence is your topic sentence. So by reading this, I know what is going to be in the whole paragraph, right? So if I read the first one, there are 3 main relationships that people have with dogs. So I know the writer is going to talk about the 3 main relationships that people have with dogs, right? This is the main idea in the topic sentence. Now the first thing, the body sentences, or the body of the paragraph here, the supporting sentences. Look, he started with a transition first. So the first of the 3 main relationships is what? First, we have working dogs. These dogs, look, this is the major supporting sentence, right? Now he will start to explain the major sentence. We call this the minor, right? These dogs, such as Siberian Huskies and Collies, serve people almost like employees. To a sheep farmer, for example, look, he is going to explain more and more. The second relationship that people have with dogs is here. Look, other dogs are known primarily for their excellence in sports. Look, this is the second one. The third one is here. Look, if you read this carefully, you will understand what I'm saying. Now, what is the concluding sentence? It is the last sentence. It is the last sentence, right? Because of the relationship they have with people, dogs are often called man's best friends. This is the concluding sentence, right? So we have 3 parts in a paragraph, right? Now we want to see what an essay has, right? Also, the essays has 3 main parts as well, right? Now let's see them. Now, if you want to graph your paragraph, you can write your topic sentence here, which has read it, right? You can write the details here, and you can put the concluding sentence here. We call that a graphic organizer, right? We are graphing the paragraph. In the exam, I don't think we're going to have, but practice this. But in the exam, we'll ask you to outline your essay. I will show you how to later on. But it's important that you graph and outline your paragraph. Let's see here. Let's see. Look, this is the topic sentence that we have read, right? And here are the concluding. Here are the supporting sentences, and here is the conclusion, right? A paragraph is just like a sandwich, right? You're starting with a topic sentence, and the last bread here, it's the concluding, right? And everything in the middle is what is the supporting details. When you think of a paragraph like this, you will understand how to organize it. Here we go. Now we're going to expand the paragraph to an essay. When you want to write about a topic in more detail, you can turn your paragraph to what? To an essay, right? Now, similar to a paragraph, an essay is composed for 3 sections, right? We have 3 sections in an essay as well. First section is what? The introductory paragraph. The second one is the supporting paragraphs. Look, paragraphs, that means more than one. So I can write more than one here. The last one is the concluding paragraph. In the quiz next week, you probably are going to write 3 paragraphs essay, right? You're going to write an essay that has 3 paragraphs. It has introductory and supporting paragraph. It's going to be 1, and concluding paragraph. That's more likely you're going to have that. This is very important. Now, let's look at page 53. This is very important, page 53. If you see page 53, the topic sentence of the paragraph becomes the thesis statement. Where is my mouse here? Look here. Thesis statement. It is in the paragraph, a topic sentence. It is the most important sentence in your paragraph, right? Now, in an essay, the thesis statement is the most important thing, right? Which comes at the end of the introductory paragraph. So when you go to the first paragraph, the introduction, the last sentence is the thesis statement. Supporting sentences of the original paragraph expand into 3 separate body paragraphs in the essay, right? So you could have 3 separate paragraphs to support your thesis, right? Now, in other words, each major supporting sentence into minor support sentence, you can read those. This is detail how to write your body paragraph. And the last sentence or the last paragraph is your concluding paragraph. I will show you in a picture. It's going to be more clear. Let's see. Here we go. Look, as I said, an essay has 3 sections, right? Introductory, and the body, and the conclusion, right? Now, the introduction, you can write between 5 to 7 sentences, right? To explain what you want to write in your paragraph. And the last sentence in this introductory paragraph, we call it a thesis statement. This is the most important sentence, because when I read this, I should know, or you should tell me the main idea in your supporting in your essay, right? And in your body, you can have more than 1 paragraph. You can have 3 paragraphs. We call all of them a body, right? In the first paragraph in your body, you should start with topic sentence, right? And then you support it, and then you finish it with a concluding sentence. In the second paragraph in the body, you start with a topic sentence with the main idea, right? You support it, and then you conclude it In this paragraph, same thing here. Now, last section, we call it conclusion. You restate your thesis. Restate your thesis, that means you say what you have said here in the thesis, but in different words, right? So in different words, you just restate your thesis and you summarize your argument from here, and you can put one comment or final comment if you want to. Now let's practice what we have explained. Let's go to page 54. Let's go to page 54 now. Let's see practice number 1. Let's analyze a paragraph. Now I know by now you should label the 3 main parts in a paragraph. Now in this paragraph, do you know where is the topic sentence? Yes or no? Tell me. I think you know. Very good. So you got the topic sentence, which is the first sentence, right? What is the body? I know every supporting sentences except the last one, right? What is the concluding sentence? I think you know them. Now, I want you to take some time and do this. So where is the topic? Find the topic sentence, which is the first one. Find the major supporting sentence, which is starting with the transition in birds, comma, for example, right? This is the major, and do the minor as well. Now let's move on. I want you to do this. Now let's analyze the essay on page 55. I think we have done this in the class. Now draw a box around the 3 components of the essay. First one, introductory paragraph, and the 3 body paragraphs and the concluding paragraph. Please draw a box around each paragraph here. This is going to help you to analyze the essay. And in the quiz, try to do the same, right? In the quiz, you will be asked to write an essay, right? Try to write an introductory paragraph first, and then body paragraphs, and then concluding paragraph. And then next, using different color pen, then underline the topic sentence and the concluding sentence in each body paragraph. This will help you also to analyze the topic and the concluding sentence. And your writing as well, try to do the same. Go to page 55 and do it, please. Now let's see the practice number 3 to outline the essay on page 56. Right, you will see an outline, and try to do it. This is the first question in the exam is to outline the essay, or to outline your essay. So you should know how to write your thesis statement, and you should know how to write your topic sentences and major support. Do the same in the exam or in the quiz. Do the same. Start with your topic sentence, and then start with your supporting sentences, with your minor sentences, all of them in your body paragraphs, right? Try to do the same, just the same in this in practice number 3. When you understand it and outline it, you will be good in the quiz. So please study this, practice this, because this is going to be in the quiz, and you will see it also in quiz number 2, and you will see it in the midterm. You will see it in the final. So you have to practice this. This is very important for you. Do it. You will see the answers here, right, in the LMS. This is the conclusion or the concluding paragraph. In concluding paragraph, usually you could make it 3 sentences, and you should start with a transition here in summary or in conclusion, or to sum up, right? And then the first sentence is restatement of your thesis, right? You just write your thesis again in different words. Now, in the second sentence, you can make a summary, right? So you summarize your main body paragraphs over here, and last sentence you can make it your final comments. I remember last semester in the midterm and in the final, the question was about the concluding paragraph, and many students didn't know what to write in the concluding paragraph. So make sure that you know how to differentiate in the concluding paragraph. Now we are moving to the transitions, to the structure and mechanics section. This is the transition. Transition also is going to be in the exam. So when you go to page 57, you will see transitions are connectors that you use to make two sentences into one. You connect the two sentences together, right? There are many transition words and phrases in English, so move on or go to page 57 and page 58. You will see them. So if you want to write an example, you can use for example or for instance, and chronology as well, first, second, after that, result as a result. If you want to differentiate, you can use however, in contrast, or on the other hand. If you want to add more information, you can use furthermore or in addition, right? Now, in the compound sentence contains two independent clause. Independent clause, you can use, you can put independent clause and then semicolon, then you can put the transition, right? Then you put the another independent clause. Here's an example. It is hot in summer, and then semicolon here, and then the transition however, comma, and then other main clause, right? If you don't want to do this, you just put period here instead of semicolon, and then however, right? That can be correct. You don't have to use semicolon if that confuses you. Also, many transitions can go at the beginning or in the middle or at the end, right? So you can put the transition at the beginning, you can put it in the middle, and you can put it at the end of the sentence. But you have to do them well. So you have to know the rules. So if you want to put it in the beginning, this is the most frequent one. So this is the transition, for example, and then you put the comma and you put your sentence, your main clause or your independent clause. For example, main cardinals are bright red, right? Or you can put it in the middle, but you have to put comma before, you have to put comma after. Or you can put it at the end, you have to put the comma before the transition, and here you have to put the period, right? All right, very good. Here is also more rules about the transitions. If transition is short, single syllabus transition, and it comes at the beginning of the sentence, you don't have to use comma. For example, first, comma, we went to the zoo. This is one syllabus and it's very short, right? So you don't have to put a comma, you can do it like this. But this is not very important. You can just put comma and you can move on. But if you want to know exactly first, you don't have to put comma, but you can put comma if you want to. Please move on to practice number 4 on page 59. This is very important. This is going to be in the quiz, right? So you have to know how to use the transitions. Now, on number 1, the Pacific Ocean has many forms of life. We put such as, or you can put for example as well, because there are examples here, right? Fish, planets, and microscopic organisms, right? So they are examples, so we use a transition to tell the reader that here are some examples, right? You can put such as, or you can put period, and you can put for example, right? Good. Number 2 as well, you can use then, because you are following it with the chronology, right? So that's why we are using then, right? The fox first, okay? The author uses first. This is a transition, right? The fox first found the perfect place to make a den. Then, comma, it started looking for a mate. Then it's a short. You don't have to put comma if you don't want it, but you can put comma, right? Do the rest, and the answers are available in the LMS, right? They are hard. Try to do them very carefully. Okay, now let's move on to chapter 5. Chapter 5 is just a guide to help us write a thesis statement, right? Let's see how do we write a thesis statement. Please try to follow the instructions here too, because when you want to write a thesis statement in your writing, the reader has to understand your thesis because it is very important. It is the most important sentence in your essay. So let's take a look now. Okay, thesis statement is the most important sentence in your essay because it contains the main idea for the whole essay. So when I want to read your essay, I start reading your thesis statement and I see what's your essay is about. So try to make sure your thesis is very strong. Just as major supporting sentences need directly support the topic sentence in a paragraph, the body paragraphs in an essay must support the thesis statement. So when you write your thesis, your supporting ideas in your body paragraphs should support your thesis, right? Everything in your essay should support the thesis statement. We'll see how to write that thesis strong. Here we go. Here is when you want to write a good thesis statement, your thesis has to have it has more than one part, right? So your thesis should has your topic and your controlling ideas. The topic is the subject of the essay. So your subject is the subject of your essay. What the essay about. The controlling idea is what you are going to say about the topic. Here is an example. This is a thesis statement, right? Here is a thesis statement here. For me, comma, it is the sense of smell. This is the topic. The sense of a smell, right? It is the sense of a smell rather than the sense of the taste that brings back happy memories. So this is the topic, and the topic is controlled by this. So I'm just going to a sense of smell and just happy memories, right? Because it's controlled by happy memories. Here is another thesis statement. The sense of smell is much stronger in dogs than it is in humans. So this is the topic and this is the controlling idea, right? Here is another one. Many scientists believe that the sense of smell is the most basic of all the senses in humans. This is the topic. This is the controlling idea. Now, the third part of a thesis statement is we call it the predictor, right? So the predictor of a thesis statement can tell the reader how many body paragraphs there will be in the essay and or what their content will be. So by reading your thesis, if you have a predictor, I know how many body paragraph you have. For example, blindness, this is what? This is the topic, requires a heightened development of the other senses. So this is the controlling idea, right? That controls the topic, especially touch and hearing. And this is what? This is the predictor. So I know how many body paragraphs? For sure, two. One about touch and the other one about hearing, right? Now we are moving to chapter 6. Look, now in these chapters, they are just guidance, right? So here we are just moving to inside the essay. Here is the introductory paragraph. In the last chapter, chapter 5 was about this thesis. The whole chapter about one sentence, how to write a very good thesis. Just one sentence, how to write a very good thesis statement, right? So we are getting in very detail here. So don't worry if you think they are a lot. No, they are not a lot. So chapter 6 is just will help you to how to write a good introduction, right? So it's just a guidance. Now let's move on. Let's see what chapter contains. If you want to write introduction, you have to it's good to pick one of those. Which type of introduction you want to write? Do you want to write a general to specific, or you want to write an anecdote introduction or a historical introduction? Let's see what everyone has. Now, if you want to write general to specific introduction, you're going to write we want to start with a very general statement, very large topic, right? And each sentence narrow down until you go to your thesis statement, and your thesis is very specific, right? So for example, if you want to write about AOU, our university, right, Arab Open University, you will start by saying that higher education is very important to develop ourselves, right? That's, for example, this is very general. Then you go down until you go to talk directly about AOU here, right? And this is very common, right? You start with general statement and then you narrow it down until you get to your thesis, which is very specific. Now, if you want to write anecdote introduction, this is you're going to write a brief story illustrates your topic. So you can tell a story about yourself, personal story, or you can write a third person anecdote, right? You can write about someone else's story, but it's just in general, this is just a story, right? You write about a story, a brief story, and then you get to your thesis statement. Third one is a historical. You talk about a history before you go directly to your thesis statements, just overview. So you just talk about the history, for example, about the education in Saudi Arabia. Then you go about history about AOU, right? And until you go directly to your thesis statement. So there are just three types. You will see them in midterm and in the final, not in the next quiz. We're gonna practice them. Go to practice number 1 on 79. Try to do them. Read the paragraphs over there, and you will see each one has one type, right? As I said, you will not see them in the quiz, but practice them in the midterm. If you don't have time now, don't do them now. Just before the midterm, make sure you do them and before the final as well. Very good. Now let's see chapter 7. Chapter 7 is about the concluding paragraph. Again, this is not, we're not going to have a very, specific question about concluding paragraph, but in the quiz you will have to write a concluding paragraph about your topic, right? So let's see how to write a good concluding paragraph. Here we go. A concluding paragraph consists of three main sentences. You can make them very direct, very clear. First one is the summary, point made in your body paragraphs, right? And then you can write a statement of your thesis, right? You just write your thesis again, but in different words. And then you have final comments. You may choose one of the three ways to end your essay. You may choose 2 or 3. Finally, do not introduce new information. Yeah, do not put new information about the topic in the essay. New information should go in another body paragraph, not in the concluding. So in the concluding, you're just telling me what you have just said in your whole essay, right? You just summarize and you restate your thesis statement. I have explained this in a previous slide, so you might go back to, I think, in chapter 5 or 4. That's the if you follow that slide, you are better off, right? Okay, so chapter 8 is reading. It is in the course calendar. We mentioned it's reading, so I'm not going to explain it here. Just read it, go over it, review it. You will understand it. Okay, now for next week is our quiz, right? Our first TMA. True. Now you have to follow your session, and if you want to know your session, you have to check your most updated schedule in the SIS to see your name, because you have to be in your session to know the time of your if you're writing TMA. If you have a problem with that, you can talk with Dr. Amal. She is the one who is responsible, right? And what you want to study is you have to study my last email. I sent everybody an email, right? And I explained what you need to study to be successful in the first TMA. I wish you all the best, and I hope this quick review is going to help you to prepare yourself for the first TMA, and good luck everybody.